Good morning. The way we've been looking for work, going online and looking at job boards, it's not working anymore. And I'm here to talk to you about why that is. In August, Randstad, the human resources company, they purchased Monster.com for $429 million. Monster, which was the early pioneer in these online job boards, at their height, they were valued at $80 a share. Sale price represented just $3.40 a share. This purchase and its price, along with research from LinkedIn showing that 85% of today's job openings are never posted online, this tells me that the job hunt, as we know it, is dead. I'm a career coach, and my clients come to me and they'll say something like, Sarah, I have applied for hundreds of jobs. I never hear anything. I really want to make a change, or I really need work, and I'll take anything. And I understand that, the pressure of looking for your first job, or of knowing that you need to make a change, being unemployed, that creates tremendous anxiety. I have felt that anxiety myself in all of those cases. And when I first started my career, I was a college dropout. I had no money, I had no job, and I had had to move back home. And I definitely thought, I remember thinking, I'll take anything. So what I wound up taking was a switchboard secretary job. That's a switchboard if you don't recognize it. That's how businesses used to transfer phone calls. She looks just about as happy as I was with the work. But things got better. I finished college and I went to graduate school, and I started working with students, helping them find co-ops and internships. And that role led to a recruiting role with one of the largest recruiters of college students in the country. I've immersed my entire career in your career, in all careers. And I've watched people move from 19 or 20 years old well into their 40s, observing some of the most successful people you can imagine as they navigated their way through career change, getting promotions, advancing within an organization, finding a place where they could thrive. And I can tell you, none of that happened online. Journalist David McCraney points out that when we're making an emotional decision, like, ooh, I need to find a new job, or I need to make some change here, we go for the easiest, quickest solution, but not necessarily the most effective one. This is certainly at play in our job search. Imagine that you leave today and you say, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to find a new job. What's our first most natural reaction? It's to hop on the laptop, plug in a few keywords, and up pops a list of job postings. Then one of two things will happen, because there are two kinds of job hunters. I'll call them eager and choosy. With eager, she's going to get on there, she's going to pop open that job posting, she's going to read through it, and she's going to fill out the application form. And then she'll pop open the next job posting, same thing again, and so on, where after a few hours, she's submitted a lot of applications, and she's given herself a little pat on the back. She's like, yeah, I've got this thing going. I'm pretty excited about this. Second type of job hunter is choosy. Now, choosy has that same list of job postings, and he'll click in one, and he'll say, I'm not sure I meet those requirements. And then he'll click in another, and he'll say, I don't think that job suits me at all. And here we have two candidates, and you might think that eager has the advantage here. But fast forward a few weeks, and she's heard nothing. Crickets. Maybe an email thanking her for her application. Same thing with choosy. So where we started with two enthusiastic, excited people, all of that has been frittered away because they chose to look for work with the easiest, fastest way of looking at jobs, but not the most effective method of finding a job. So if you want a meaningful career, if you want to make a change, Your obvious question is, now what? But I want you also to look at this from a recruiter's position or from a hiring manager's perspective. If I'm a recruiter, I could get hundreds or even thousands of applications for a single position. If I'm a hiring manager, I'm wondering why it's taking so long to get me a couple of qualified candidates to interview. This is frustrating for everyone. So enter applicant tracking software. Applicant tracking software allows the recruiter to program in keywords that match the job requirements for that position. If your resume doesn't use exactly, precisely the same keywords to describe your experience, you could be eliminated. And if your resume has a specific font or some bullets or uses an image or a table instead of text, it could confuse that software entirely and out goes your application. The fact is, and this is hard to hear, you could be the singular most qualified candidate for that job, and your application could be eliminated before it even gets in front of a real human being. So the obvious question is, what do you do with this? Well, there are two things that successful candidates do before they even apply for a job. The first thing is they take a look inside, and they look to find a clarity of purpose or a sweet spot that's going to focus their job search. And this means asking three questions. First, what am I good at? Those are your skills. Second, what am I interested in? What do I enjoy doing? Those are your interests. And third, who do I want to help? Where do I want to work? Who's doing what I'd like to do? That's your market. Those are the people who are going to hire you. And that clarity of purpose, that sweet spot, the intersection in the middle, lets you know where you want to look. Once you've got that down, you can begin having career conversations. A career conversation is much less formal than an informational interview, for example, because it can happen anywhere in any environment. It can even happen over an email. And what you're going to do is you're going to talk to people who are doing what you want to do, or you're going to talk to people who can introduce you to people who are doing what you want to do. I'll get into that in more detail. I want to give you an example to illustrate how this could work in process. So here we have Lucas Law. Lucas is a 25-year-old, been recently in the news because of his creative approach to job hunting. He wanted a marketing job. That was Lucas's sweet spot. So he researched his market to find 40 companies in the Bay Area where he thought, they need my help, and I think they offer an environment where I could thrive and do well. And then he pulled out his marketing chops, and he did something completely unexpected crazy, okay? This put him in front of people who could directly help him find the job that would be great for him. What he did was, he posed as a delivery person, and he went into each of the 40 companies in that market, and he asked for the hiring manager by name. And when the person arrived, he gave them a box of fancy donuts with his resume on the inside. Now, yes, this was really bold. I'm sure he had a lot of fun, but most importantly, it led to a lot of career conversations about Lucas and his skills and about what he could do to help that company with their marketing efforts. Now, as of a few weeks ago, I've been following him. He had landed 10 interviews, or a 25% return on his effort. Now, that's much better than anyone's ever going to get applying to jobs online. Now, what made Lucas successful was that clarity of purpose. Clarity of purpose beats everything else when it comes to building a meaningful career. Now, maybe you're thinking, he's fearless. I'm not. He's creative. That's not me. Or, you know what, he knew what he wanted, and I'm not absolutely sure. Well, I want to tell you I'm known for my bluntness, and that's just wrong-headed thinking. Your fears play a big part whenever you are making a change. It's natural for us to be a little afraid, and we're rarely more afraid than we are when we think about having to look for work or find a job. But that idea of, is what I want really out there? I don't know. Or maybe I've chosen the wrong career, or maybe I'm not going to be successful at this. That's just fear telling you stories. Please don't let that fear stand in between you and a great job. Let me take some of the pressure off. We turn this big job thing into a huge decision. I'd like to bring it down to earth a little bit for you and suggest that you might look at this as you would look going out to dinner with friends tonight. Just stick with me here. You're going to decide what kind of food you want to eat. You're going to decide on a restaurant. You're going to choose people to invite. And you're going to decide how much money you want to spend. Now, let's say you go and it is an amazing evening. That is great. But what if the food is horrible and the company is terrible and you don't have any fun? Does that mean that you will never go out to dinner again? No, of course not. You're going to go out to dinner again. And just like tonight's dinner, your next job search is not a forever decision. Research has shown that millennials, people now in their 20s, they may have as many as 7 careers. You've got some room here. You've got some space here. And not only that, we know that the idea of job hopping, which used to be a little bit of a black mark, that's not the case at all anymore. It's a sign that you're confident. It's a sign that you know what you want. It's a sign that you know how to take risks. So the next job that you have, that next job search, it's not a forever decision. So let's say that you're ready to do this, and you're thinking, I don't want to do what Lucas did. You don't need a gimmick. It's much simpler than that. All you need to do is prepare yourself to have a few simple career conversations. You're going to be transparent. If you've found your sweet spot, you know what you want. So you're going to find some people who you can talk to about that. Now, this is what's working. This is what people are doing to find jobs that are never advertised. So you're going to ask people 3 questions. First, how did you get to where you are? Second, what do you wish you'd known before you got started? Third, who else do you know that I should talk to? And if you keep having these conversations, you're going to learn much more about your field, and you're going to get clarity on what you're looking for. And you keep having these conversations. It may lead to bigger questions and a longer conversation. In any event, you're going to send that person an email, a thank you note, and you're going to attach your resume. And you're going to ask for feedback. And you're going to keep doing that. And as you do, you're going to build a whole team of people who now have your resume. And they're on the sidelines cheering you on and supporting you as you go. One of the questions I get frequently is, well, I don't have those kinds of people in my world, or I don't know anybody who's going to help me get into the entertainment industry or the sports industry or whatever it may be. I want to share with you that this is not about who you know. This is about who you choose to meet. Social media gives us a tremendous advantage over previous generations because it makes it so easy to connect with people. LinkedIn is an amazing tool for this. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, I urge you to get one. But you don't need to wait for that. You could look around this room, and there are people who work at universities, there are entrepreneurs, there are people who work at businesses. I'm going to bet that you look in your phone, and you know someone who knows a lawyer or an accountant. Lawyers and accountants have clients in a huge variety of fields. I'm going to bet that you know somebody who works at one of the hospitals, for the city, for the state, one of the larger organizations here. Those organizations hire a huge number of people to do a wide variety of things. What I love about this approach of simply having informal conversations with people is that it works whether you're eager or choosy. With the old approach, your resume was all about you, and it was generic, so you could send it anywhere and apply broadly. You'd do the research only after you got invited to an interview, and then you go into the interview hoping you had adequately prepared. And when it came to an offer, well, are they going to hire me? You'd wait. With this new approach, you're going to do your research first and look inside. Then you're going to have career conversations and learn about where the opportunities are. You're going to prepare your resume, but it's going to be tailored exactly specifically for the job you're applying for. When you go into the interview, it's going to be a mutual experience. You'll walk in prepared with questions of your own, and you'll answer theirs. And when it comes to the offer, you're going to ask yourself, do I want to work here? What this new approach does is it changes the entire experience of looking for work from one of the fear of will they hire me to the confidence of, is this the job I want? There's an expression in sales that says people will buy from others they know, like, and trust. By having career conversations, you give other people a chance to know, like, and trust you. If I've got an opening and I've got a job to fill, we've had that conversation, I'm not going to bother with the time and energy to put something online. I'm going to call you, and I'm going to invite you to apply. And yes, there may be other candidates, but you're already the candidate that I know, like, and trust. I think of a career trajectory like a path up a mountain. Maybe that's why I call myself a career Sherpa, someone who carries the heavy load and guides others on that path. If you know anything about mountain climbing, you know it's rarely a straight up to the top. It's a zigzag, and you frequently have to curve back, and it feels sometimes like you're going backwards to go forwards. By having these career conversations, you will build yourself your own team of career Sherpas to carry your heavy load and to help you up to the top. There's a Mexican proverb that says, conversation is food for the soul. It's also fuel for a meaningful career. So remember, your next job choice is not a decision, and you already have access to someone who can help you.